Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Valen, and today I want to talk to you about a topic that deeply affects the quality of life, confidence, and vitality of men after the age of 60. If you've noticed that your energy isn't what it used to be, that you tire more easily, that your physical capacity has declined, and that you simply no longer feel the same strength and vigor that once defined you, I want you to know one very important thing. You are not alone. These changes are extremely common, but they are not an irreversible sentence. Far from it. What I am going to reveal to you today can completely transform your perspective on men's health and give you a simple, accessible, affordable, and surprisingly powerful tool that you almost certainly already have in your kitchen right now: sodium bicarbonate. Over my more than 15 years of experience in functional medicine and geriatrics, with a special focus on men's health, I have seen brilliant, active, accomplished men resign themselves to what they believe is an inevitable age-related decline. They give up, lower their ambitions, and get used to feeling only half alive. And what touches me most is that they genuinely think there is nothing they can do about it. But modern science shows us a radically different picture. Our bodies possess an extraordinary capacity for rebalancing and regeneration at any age and under any conditions, provided we give them the right tools at the right time. Sodium bicarbonate, that white powder you use to make cakes rise or to descale your coffee maker, is one of those underestimated tools, almost invisible. And today I am going to explain in depth the 10 science-backed ways it can revitalize your masculine health after the age of 60. Let me start with the story of Carlos. Carlos, a retired engineer and a very analytical man, had always been active in his professional life. He came into my office one morning and told me he felt completely extinguished. After a brilliant career, he found himself frustrated by chronic lack of energy, physical endurance that was melting away week after week, and a mind that could no longer focus the way it used to. He had tried everything: expensive supplement boxes, special diets, vitamin cures. Disappointing or zero results. What we discovered when we looked at his detailed blood work, not the standard routine tests, but targeted biochemical analyses, was a subtle imbalance in his blood pH, a progressive acidification known as mild subclinical metabolic acidosis. Subclinical means it is invisible on classic lab reports, not serious enough to trigger a medical alert, yet enough to deeply disrupt the function of every cell in his body. I suggested a simple, precise protocol using sodium bicarbonate. He looked at me with that polite skepticism mixed with curiosity we reserve for things that seem too simple to be true. 4 weeks later, he returned to my office and said something I will never forget. "Dr. Valen, it's as if I've recovered part of my youth. Not only do I have more physical strength, but my mind is clearer, my mood has improved, and I've regained the desire to do things." That is what a simple, precise, and coherent chemical rebalancing can do. Before we dive into the 10 benefits, it is essential that you understand what sodium bicarbonate is and why it is so relevant for adults over 60. Sodium bicarbonate, NaHCO3, is an alkaline salt that our bodies naturally produce to maintain the acid-base balance of the blood. This balance is measured on the pH scale, which ranges from 0 to 14. A pH of 7 is neutral. Below 7 is acidic, above 7 is alkaline. Healthy human blood ideally sits between 7.35 and 7.45. Even a tiny shift in this balance can have major consequences on all physiological functions. The problem is that with age, our modern diet, rich in refined sugar, meat, processed foods, coffee, and alcohol, combined with chronic stress, progressively overloads the body's natural buffering system. the body can no longer neutralize all the acids it produces or ingests. This leads to persistent subclinical metabolic acidosis, a silent internal oxidation that slowly but surely affects every system: blood circulation, hormonal function, cellular energy production, bone health, and cognition. This is where intelligently and precisely used sodium bicarbonate comes in. Let's now explore the 10 ways it can specifically transform men's health after 60. Benefit 1: improved blood circulation and optimized vascular flow. With age, blood can become thicker and more acidic, making it harder to circulate through the tiniest vessels, including those crucial for sexual function, muscle oxygenation, and overall energy. Sodium bicarbonate acts as a natural blood thinner. By neutralizing excess acid, red blood cells regain their flexibility and can slip through the finest capillaries. The result: better oxygenation of all tissues, including muscles and reproductive organs. Men who follow this protocol often report noticeable improvements in physical endurance and erectile function. They are often surprised because they had never made the connection with their blood chemistry. Benefit 2: natural potentiation of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is probably the most important molecule for masculine vascular health. It allows arteries to relax and dilate, ensuring robust, steady, and efficient blood flow to every organ. Without it, arteries stiffen, pressure rises, and circulation deteriorates. An overly acidic blood environment damages the endothelium, the protective inner lining of the blood vessels, reducing its ability to produce nitric oxide. By creating a more alkaline environment, bicarbonate protects and restores endothelial health, allowing optimal production of this vital molecule. The benefits go far beyond erectile function: protection against hypertension, improved physical performance, and better cardiovascular recovery. Benefit 3: fighting silent vascular inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation is a silent enemy that accelerates vascular and muscular aging. It is invisible on standard clinical exams, causes no pain, and produces no obvious symptoms. Yet it consumes the body from within like a smoldering fire that never goes out. This inflammation is intimately linked to metabolic acidity. Studies have shown that sodium bicarbonate has measurable anti-inflammatory properties, lowering levels of pro-inflammatory cytokines in the blood. By reducing systemic inflammation, the burden on the cardiovascular system is lightened. Vessels function more smoothly and efficiently, and the whole body breathes easier. Benefit 4: natural hormonal rebalancing. The liver is the central organ for detoxification and hormone metabolism. When it is overloaded by persistent acidosis, its ability to process and eliminate excess hormones, especially estrogen metabolites, is seriously compromised. In men, this can lead to a progressive imbalance between testosterone and estrogens. When that balance tips the wrong way, the consequences are very real: loss of muscle mass, abdominal fat gain, reduced vitality, lower libido, and mood instability. By lowering the overall acid load, bicarbonate helps the liver work more efficiently and indirectly supports a healthier, more balanced hormonal profile. The effect is indirect but profound and is usually felt after several weeks. Benefit 5: increased cellular energy. Your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside every cell, function best in a slightly alkaline environment. In an acidic environment, ATP production, the universal energy molecule, becomes inefficient, laborious, and resource-intensive. This is the biochemical explanation for the chronic fatigue so many men feel after 60. It is not a question of willpower or just aging. It is the chemistry of their internal environment preventing their cells from producing the energy they need. Bicarbonate helps restore the ideal internal environment so mitochondria can work at full capacity. The result, a remarkable increase in daily energy, reduced chronic fatigue, and a completely transformed feeling upon waking. Benefit 6. Improved physical performance and muscle recovery. During physical effort, muscles produce lactic acid, the culprit behind that unpleasant muscle burn, heavy legs, and the sensation of running out of fuel long before you want to stop. Bicarbonate acts as a buffer that neutralizes lactic acid in real time, allowing longer, more intense, and more effective workouts. Beyond performance during exercise, it also accelerates muscle recovery afterward. Less soreness the next day, less stiffness, and the ability to train more regularly. And regular training is precisely what is crucial for maintaining muscle mass after 60 and fighting sarcopenia. Benefit 7. Support for kidney function. The kidneys are the body's natural regulators of acid-base balance. With age, their function can gradually decline. By neutralizing some of the acids in the blood before they reach the kidneys, bicarbonate reduces the workload on these vital organs. Clinical studies have shown that appropriate doses of bicarbonate can slow the progression of mild kidney decline. This benefit is particularly important because silent kidney issues are extremely common in men after 60. Important note: if you have diagnosed kidney disease, this protocol must be discussed with and supervised by your doctor. Benefit 8. Improved digestive health. Bicarbonate can neutralize excess gastric acidity, providing natural relief for acid indigestion and reflux. But its deepest effect on the digestive system goes far beyond a simple occasional antacid. By creating a less acidic environment in the intestinal tract, it promotes a healthy gut microbiota. And we now know that gut health is directly linked to immunity, mood, energy production, and many other systemic functions. A balanced gut means a balanced body. However, use bicarbonate carefully for this purpose. Timing and dosage are crucial, as improper use can disrupt normal digestion. Benefit 9. Protection of bone health. Here is a mechanism few people know about, and it partly explains why osteoporosis is so widespread in modern society. When blood is chronically too acidic, the body, in its survival logic, pulls alkaline minerals from the bones, mainly calcium, to neutralize the excess acid. It literally steals calcium from your own skeleton to keep blood pH stable. This emergency mechanism, repeated day after day for years, significantly reduces bone density. Bicarbonate, by maintaining a more balanced blood pH, interrupts this calcium leaching process. Your bones keep their minerals. They remain dense, strong, and able to support you. Benefit 10. Improved cognitive function and mental state. Metabolic acidosis directly and measurably affects brain chemistry. Brain fog, difficulty concentrating, frequent forgetfulness, and loss of motivation. Many symptoms that men simply attribute to aging actually have a biochemical component linked to systemic acidity. By restoring pH balance, bicarbonate creates optimal conditions for efficient neuronal function. Patients report clearer thinking, better concentration, more stable mood, and a more positive outlook on life. And this is not subjective. A balanced pH promotes the production of neurotransmitters such as serotonin and dopamine, the fundamental molecules of emotional well-being and motivation. If this information seems valuable and you would like to continue receiving specialized knowledge on men's health after 60, I invite you to subscribe to our channel. Every week, I share practical protocols, recent research, and concrete strategies to help you reclaim your vitality and well being. This content is based on 15 years of real clinical practice, not on fleeting trends. Now, I want to share with you the precise protocol that transformed the health of Carlos Ernesto and many other patients. It is essential to understand that this is not simply about taking bicarbonate any old way. Dosage, timing, and preparation are critical to obtaining the benefits without side effects. Dr. Valen's Sodium Bicarbonate Protocol. Step 1. Preparation. You will need only 3 things: standard food-grade sodium bicarbonate, no special brand needed. The regular one from the supermarket is perfect. Warm water, not boiling. Hot like tea left to cool for a few minutes. Freshly squeezed lemon juice. Although lemon is acidic in the glass, it produces alkaline metabolites once digested and metabolized in the body. Its presence greatly potentiates the effect of the bicarbonate. Never use bottled lemon juice. Use a real fresh lemon squeezed by hand. Step 2. Dosage. Always start low. Dissolve 1/4 teaspoon of bicarbonate in a large glass of warm water, about 250 ml. Why so little at first? Because some people are more sensitive than others. Starting gently lets you observe how your body reacts without risking discomfort. If after 3 days you feel no digestive upset, nausea, or malaise, you can increase to 1/2 teaspoon. This ½ teaspoon is the optimal therapeutic dose for the vast majority of men. Do not exceed it without medical advice. Step 3. The ideal timing. This is one of the most critical aspects of the protocol and the most common mistake people make when trying it alone. The best time is in the morning, at least 30 minutes before your main meal. Taken on an empty or semi-empty stomach, the bicarbonate quickly passes into the small intestine and enters the bloodstream, where it exerts its systemic alkalizing effect. If taken during or right after a meal, it interferes with the gastric acids needed for digestion, and its effectiveness drops dramatically. 30 minutes before the meal, neither earlier nor later. Step 4. Perfect preparation. Pour the warm water into a glass, add the bicarbonate, then squeeze in the juice of half a fresh lemon. Stir well with a spoon. The mixture will foam, fizz, and bubble. This is perfectly normal. It is the reaction between citric acid and bicarbonate. Drink it immediately after mixing. Do not let it sit. The longer you wait, the less effective it becomes. Step 5. Consistency. This is not a 1-week miracle cure. It is an investment in your internal biochemistry that requires regularity, 5 to 6 days per week, not 7. 1 weekly break allows your body's natural regulatory systems to continue working autonomously. First noticeable changes, mainly energy and mental clarity, usually appear between weeks 2 and 4. Deeper transformations, muscle recovery, hormonal balance, vascular health take 2 to 3 months. Be patient. This is not magic, it is biochemistry, and biochemistry takes the time it needs. Let me now tell you about Ernesto. Ernesto, 60 years old, came to see me for mild hypertension, already treated, and constant fatigue that prevented him from enjoying his retirement. His wife contacted me because she was worried. She told me, "He is no longer the man I married." With his cardiologist's approval, I incorporated the bicarbonate protocol along with moderate dietary changes and a daily walking program. 6 weeks later, Ernesto returned with an expression I will never forget. He said, "Dr. Valen, it feels like someone changed my batteries. I want to do things, make plans. I want to live again." His blood pressure had dropped, his energy levels had risen, his sleep quality had improved, and his wife called me in tears to thank me. Essential safety precautions. I have been a physician for 15 years, and the first rule of medicine remains: First, do no harm. Sodium bicarbonate is generally safe for the vast majority of people in relatively good health. But there are contraindications I must state clearly. People with uncontrolled hypertension should not follow this protocol or only under strict medical supervision because of the sodium content. People with advanced kidney disease or congestive heart failure must not use it without explicit medical authorization. People taking diuretics or blood pressure medications must consult their doctor before starting. If you experience headaches, nausea, dizziness, or abdominal pain, reduce the dose immediately or stop completely. Your body is speaking, listen to it. Regarding sodium, at the recommended doses, 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon, we are talking about approximately 300 to 600 milliliters of sodium per dose. For men with normal or slightly elevated but well-controlled blood pressure and moderate sodium intake in their diet, this amount is generally not a problem. For those with severe sodium restrictions, potassium bicarbonate is a possible alternative, but discuss it with your doctor. Synergy with other essential nutrients. What turns this protocol from good into extraordinary is combining it with other key nutrients. Magnesium is ally number one. The vast majority of men over 60 have an unrecognized magnesium deficiency. This mineral is involved in more than 300 biochemical reactions. Energy production, protein synthesis, nerve regulation, and muscle relaxation. The alkaline environment created by bicarbonate improves cellular magnesium absorption. Eat magnesium-rich foods daily. Spinach, almonds, pumpkin seeds, dark chocolate, 70%. Potassium is the electrolyte of cellular balance. While bicarbonate works on blood acid-base balance, potassium regulates the electrical balance inside each cell. Together, they create the ideal environment for muscle and nerve function. Best sources: avocado, banana, sweet potato, spinach, legumes. Omega-3s may be the most important synergy for men's health. These fatty acids, found in fatty fish, nuts, and chia seeds, are powerful natural anti-inflammatories. By reducing systemic acidity, bicarbonate creates the optimal environment for omega-3s to exert their maximum anti-inflammatory potential. It is like preparing the soil before sowing. Advanced protocol for those with at least 1 month of experience. If you have followed the basic version for at least 4 weeks with no side effects, Monday to Friday, normal bicarbonate plus lemon protocol, 30 minutes before the main meal. Saturday and Sunday, complete break. This weekly pause preserves your body's sensitivity to bicarbonate and prevents adaptation. Every 6 to 8 weeks, take a full week off. Total reset. During that week, compensate by increasing naturally alkalizing foods: green vegetables, lemon, avocado, sprouted seeds. When you resume the protocol after the break, the effects are often even stronger than at the beginning. The mind-body energy connection. There is one aspect of this transformation that I would not have believed had my patients not repeated it to me dozens of times in one way or another. When your body starts functioning correctly, when pH rebalances, inflammation recedes, and cells regain full energy production, something also changes in the mind, in psychology, in the relationship to life. My patients don't just feel physically stronger, they feel more motivated, more optimistic. They restart projects they had abandoned. They make plans again. They rediscover the joy of getting up in the morning. This is not placebo, it is biochemistry. A balanced pH promotes the production of serotonin and dopamine, the fundamental neurotransmitters of mood, motivation, and well-being. When your inner environment is in order, your inner life reflects it directly. Carlos, during his last visit, told me, "Dr. Valen, I've started making plans again. I hadn't done that in years. That is what it truly means to age with vitality. Biomarkers of progress. In addition to how you feel subjectively, which remains the best indicator, you can track your progress with objective, accessible markers. Your energy level throughout the day, sleep quality and how rested you feel upon waking, recovery after physical effort, mental clarity and concentration ability, and, if you wish, urinary pH measured with pharmacy test strips. Interpret with caution and ideally under medical guidance. Following these indicators week after week will let you objectively witness the transformations occurring in your body. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to end with what is perhaps the most important message of this video. Optimal health after 60 is not about recovering the youth of your 30s. It is about living every stage of your life with the maximum vitality, full functionality, and profound well-being that are your birthright. These years are not an inevitable decline. They are an extraordinary phase of life, provided you give your body the tools it needs. The bicarbonate protocol is not a magic solution. It is not a substitute for a healthy diet, regular exercise, restorative sleep, or stress management. It is a powerful complement that can amplify all those efforts and significantly accelerate your results. The best solutions have almost always been the simplest. What nature has made available to us for centuries, modern medicine is rediscovering today through clinical studies. Your body has an innate capacity for rebalancing. Simply give it what it needs to express that capacity fully. If this video has given you something concrete and valuable, I ask you to share it with a friend, a brother, a father, or a retired colleague who could benefit. That simple gesture can change a life. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future content, and feel free to share your experiences or questions in the comments. I read them and I reply. Your journey toward renewed health begins with simple but powerful decisions, exactly like this one.